Today, we are diving into one of the most fundamental aspects of web development, Cascading Style Sheets or CSS. Imagine if every website looked like plain, black and white text on a screen. No colors, no layouts, no animations. Pretty boring, right? Well, that's where CSS comes in. It's the magic behind beautifully styled web pages, responsible for everything from colors and fonts to responsive layouts and smooth animations. What is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and it's used to control how HTML elements are displayed. Think of HTML as the skeleton of a web page and CSS as the skin and clothing. It makes the site visually appealing. CSS provides a separation of content and design, making web development more flexible and scalable. Instead of styling every element individually inside HTML, we can write CSS once and apply it to multiple elements, ensuring consistency. Types of CSS. Now, there are three main ways we can apply CSS to a web page. Inline CSS. Apply directly inside an HTML tag using the style attribute. Example. Best for quick fixes but not ideal for large projects. Internal CSS. Written inside a closed angle bracket style tag in the closed angle bracket head of an HTML document. Example. Useful when styling a single HTML file. External CSS. The best approach. CSS is written in a separate .css file and linked to the HTML document. Example. Recommended for large websites, ensuring better organization and maintainability. Next, we can move to understanding CSS syntax. CSS follows a simple rule-based structure. A CSS rule consists of two parts. For example, this means all closed angle bracket h1 elements will now appear red with a font size of 24 pixels. CSS selectors, targeting elements. How do we choose which elements to style? CSS provides various selectors. Element selector targets all elements of a certain type. Class selector targets elements with a specific class. ID selector targets a unique element by ID. Group selector applies styles to multiple elements. The CSS box model. Ever wondered how spacing works in web design? CSS follows a concept called the box model, where every element is like a box with 4 layers. Content, the text or image inside the box. Padding, space between content and the border. Border, the edge surrounding the element. Margin, space between elements. Example. This structure helps design clean, well-spaced layouts. Layouts, Flexbox and Grid. CSS gives us two powerful layout models. Flexbox, great for one-dimensional layouts, rows or columns. CSS Grid, best for two-dimensional layouts, rows and columns. These tools make arranging elements much easier compared to older techniques. Responsive web design. Today, websites need to work on all screen size, from desktops to mobile phones. CSS helps achieve this responsive web design, RWD. Media queries allow styles to change based on screen size. The viewport meta tag ensures content scales properly on different devices. This ensures your website looks great on all devices. Advanced CSS, animations and variables. CSS is not just about colors and layouts. It can also bring web pages to life. CSS animations. This smoothly fades elements into view. CSS Variables. Variables help maintain consistency in styles, preprocesses and frameworks. As websites grow complex, tools like CSS preprocesses, SASS, LESS and frameworks, Bootstrap, Tailwind CSS speed up development. Example, Bootstrap quickly create responsive layouts. Tailwind CSS, utility, fast styling approach. These tools make CSS even more powerful and efficient. CSS is essential for making websites visually appealing and user-friendly. We explored different ways to apply CSS, selectors and the box model, layout techniques like Flexbox and grid, responsive design principles, advanced features like animations and variables. CSS is always evolving, and mastering it is key to becoming a great web developer.